Having arrived in Picton yesterday, we intend to at least see the town. We will start at the local museum. We have already noted parking in Picton will be difficult with the spaces limited to an hour only and no real paid parking facilities that we saw. I have since discovered car parks at 22 Wellington Street and Dublin Street car park at 10 Dublin Street do fit this bill. We survive by moving the car every hour. If you enjoy the video, please don't forget to press the subscribe, ring the bell, press the like button and leave comments and ask questions as required. On the evening of the 18th of December 1642, two waka of the Ngāti Tumakako Kuri people approached two ships which had anchored near the northwestern tip of the South Island. These ships were the Hemzik and Zeehan. These ships were commanded by the Dutch explorer Abel Tasman. This was the first known occasion when Mary encountered Europeans. A small boat which was passing messages between the two Dutch ships was rammed by a waka and its occupants attacked. 4 of the Dutchmen died. The ship set sail as 11 canoes approached and fired upon these canoes as they left. As a result, Abel Tasman never landed on New Zealand shores and named the place Murderers Bay. This all occurred in what is known as Golden Bay to the west of Picton near Nelson. The first French arrival was Captain Jean-Francis Marie de Seville, who brought the St. Jean-Baptiste on a trans-Pacific trading and exploratory expedition in 1769. For almost 130 years, Europeans and Maori had no further contact with each other. Then on the 8th of October 1769, James Cook and others landed on the east side of the Taronganui River, near present-day Gisborne. Abel Tasman's voyage in 1642 aroused French interest, and by the 18th century, French explorers were eager to seek out scientific knowledge and trading opportunities in New Zealand. It was not until 1770 Captain James Cook made his first visit to the Marlborough Sounds and Ship's Cove. His first sighting of New Zealand was the Hokianga Heads on the 12th of December 1769. From there he sailed around North Cape to Doubtless Bay. His initial landing in New Zealand was only a few days after Captain Cook. In the afternoon of May 27, 1820, 2 Russian warships sailed into Queen Charlotte Sound. These 2 ships had been blown off course by bad weather after leaving Sydney, Australia for the Society Islands a week earlier. The Russians wished to trade for fish, and the local iwi tribes, having encountered James Cook 40 years earlier, knew what they wished to trade from these tall ships. As a result of this trading, the second oldest collection of Maori artifacts in the world, exceeded only by the one amassed by James Cook, is held in Russia. The Nortons were prominent in Marlborough Sounds and Kaikoura as whalers. James and his wife, shown here, lived in the mid to late 1800s, being married in 1865. A decade before the Treaty of Waitangi was signed, legendary whalers such as Patrick Norton, James's father, James Heberley, also shown left, Jackie Gard, Joseph Toms, William Keenan, John Love and Jimmy Jackson lived and worked with Maori under the fierce control of Ngāti Toa chief Te Rapahara. These people worked together with respect and honour, sometimes hard to find in today's interactions, working as equals with a common goal. Port Underwood was the location of the earliest European settlement in the South Island, with whaler John Gard establishing a shore whaling station in 1828. In June 1840, the South Island signing of the Treaty of Waitangi occurred at Hora Kakahau Island in Port Underwood. Its location is at Cloudy Bay to the northeast of the South Island in the Marlborough Sounds. Early whaling was performed out of rowboats that were not that large, 4 to 6 men rowing and a harpooner. The harpooner would throw the harpoon into the whale's blubber to secure it to the whaleboat. The whale would then dive and turn on the boat, but the crew would pull on the line to draw the boat back close. Once close enough, the boat header would plunge a lance into the whale's heart or lungs to kill it. Many men hunted whales for the thrill of the chase. Whaling was dangerous. Harpooned whales thrashed and rolled, damaging boats or pulling them under. In later years, boats such as the steamer in the case and mechanical harpoon guns made the process safer for man and less fair for the whale. Oh. My grandfather had one of these. Exactly that clock. He had one very similar to this too, that used to stand in the hall but didn't have the face at the top. Otherwise it would be the same. Hey, first Uber. Sure. First Uber. We leave the museum and decided it's time for a late lunch, so off we go to find a cafe. There are numerous cafes in Picton and we pick one on the waterfront where we can watch the boats and the marina. As we are parked in a zone marked as 1 hour parking, I set out to move the car. It is our belief that if the vehicle is not in the same place, it should obtain an additional hour. I find this parking rule silly, as an hour parking would not allow for much of a wander in town and lunch. On the way back to the car, I wander through the Picton Reserve. It is many years since I was in this area, and it has changed a wee bit. The reserve is outstanding, and there are many activities, both free and ones that require payment. With the car moved and in a new location, I return to the cafe. To my delight, a nice cool bubbly awaits me when I arrive. To you, darling. We ordered lunch while drinking wine and watched the 2 ferries depart, heading back to Wellington. time has come to leave Picton. It is Friday the 18th of October and we are meeting Shirley's sister for the weekend. She lives and works in Nelson and we have booked a night at the Tahuna Beach Holiday Park in Nelson on the waterfront. I've got a fair idea which way to go at the moment.
You're back into Picton?
No. Come along for the ride as we drive to Nelson, albeit in an accelerated fashion in keeping with the power and magic of video editing.
$54 a night, and it's $3.
I thought it was 54 and 47 without power.
She said it's $3 without power.
Get in.
Just go. It's got what's it called?
Number plate recognition.
Number plate recognition.
down the road on my motorbike, devil on horseback way out of sight. Highway behind, highway to go, wind through my hair like a racing bow. There she goes, fast down the highway, like lightning. She's an old 48, beauty indeed, state of the art, a lady of speed. I get in the saddle and take the reins from Arizona to the Texas plains. There she goes, fast down the highway, black lightning. Black lightning. Black lightning. This here bike will never fail, dependable like the U.S. mail. Gets me there, gets me home, gets me to New Mexico. There she goes, fast down the highway, black lightning.
This is the Tahuna Beach Holiday Park. It is a large park and, from what we have been told, very popular. It has many, if not all, the features of a top 10 park except common rooms. There is a cafe at the entrance, and that is for campers and public alike. There is beach access and large grass areas where games could be played. Nelson City Council first acquired the land that Tahuna Beach Holiday Park and Motel occupies in 1910 for the sum of £305, 12 shillings and sixpence. To put that into perspective, the average wage in 1910 was around £5 to £6 per week. About $10 to $12. If you saved all your income, you would have taken you 61 weeks to pay for this section as undeveloped land. This is a large piece of land, however. The Tahuna Sands Association took over responsibility for the development of the land in 1926, and in only the first 2 years access to the beach was improved and the first facilities were provided, such as changing sheds, a playground and a kiosk. This was the start of a historic camping ground that's operated today. We are currently in one of at least 6 kitchens I have seen here, and there is probably more. The size of this ground makes a quick tour and inspection impossible. All of the kitchens I found have shared fridges and these refrigerated lockers for hire for those more desirable items. These laundries and toilets are probably at every kitchen block, and that is certainly the case with the ones I've ventured to. There are many dump stations around the site as well, and all have good access. There is a mix of unisex toilet showers, standalone toilets and standalone shower facilities. Showers are not an additional cost like many other sites. All around this site are these recycling rubbish points. This is one of the best sites I've seen for this facility. Each kitchen area has clotheslines nearby. sheer size and scale of this park is hard to comprehend from a video. We are still in the off-season. There's probably hundreds of campers here. Mostly you only noticed a few until you walk around the ground. It took me 1.5 hours to circle this ground, and I never got all of it. I could not believe my eyes when I stumbled upon this, a small stage for campers to use. Do any of you out there have a budding production you would like to create?
There's a tank in there, right? Jesus.
Children's play areas with differing activities are everywhere. Families with children are very well catered for. This seems to be the most populated part of the park at present. I suspect this is done to keep management of the facilities to a minimum in the off-season. This area appears to be those more on holiday as a lifestyle tenants, but hey, that's us as well. We just prefer to keep moving from time to time. On the grass area, behind the basic cabins, is a flying fox with twin lines. There are some additional seat bouncy things to keep the smaller children occupied, while I am guessing the older children ride the fox. You can shoot baskets near the exit if that's your desire. And and as you walk or drive through the exit, reception is to the right. There are parks for large vehicles that do not involve turning around if you are leaving and need to go to the reception area. Directly beside reception is the Deck Cafe. The Deck Cafe and shop is open to guests and the public from 8:30 AM every day and serves meals, snacks and great coffee into the evening. Closing time varies with the season, so you would need to find that out on arrival. At the front of the park, these carts are for hire. There is a bouncy pad and mini golf. Also in this play area are slides and equipment for smaller children. If you do not wish to bring a tent or a camper, the site has accommodation from fully self-contained motel units to kitchen cabin units where you share the shower and toilet facilities, as well as basic cabins containing beds only and sharing the kitchens, toilets and showers. Shown here are the basic cabin unit. It would appear you can even buy your own slice of the holiday lifestyle. Attached to the description of this video are links to the Tahuna Holiday Adventure Park and Deck Cafe. Please like and subscribe this video if you have enjoyed the content, as I enjoy making these videos for you. We will leave this video here as already longer than I intended, but hopefully of some interest.